What's up everyone, Glare Glasses TV here, top 50 songs of 2016. Number 50, we have Street Sects with And I Grew Into Ribbons. Now I love Street Sects' album, End Position, and this was one of the first like industrial, noisy kind of albums that I'd ever listened to. I'm really, like this year, I think I evolved in my music listening more than ever before. Beforehand it was just really pop and rap and classic rock that I listened to. This year I really diversified and started listening to new, different kinds of random genres, started to get a little bit more patrician. I love using that word. It's a kind of a meme word about music right now. Trying to get a bit more diversity into my music listening, and Street Sects' End Position was one of those albums that made me go just whoa, this is a different kind of music that I've never experienced before. And to top off my list, to start off my list, I'm including their song And I Grew Into Ribbons, which is the introductory song, the first song on their album, and it's just a song that as soon as I heard it I was completely blown away, and I totally knew that this was going to be an album that completely changed my perception of what music is and could be. That's just total noise, just bellissimo. Number 49, we have Sia with Reaper. This is probably my favourite Sia song today. It's a really great, really uplifting ballad. Really enjoyed it. It deserves an inclusion on my list. Couldn't stop listening to it throughout the year. I might look back on it a few years from now and cringe at my inclusion of that song, but it was one of the catchiest songs for me this year. Had it on repeat. Got to include it. Number 48, we got Charlie Puth and Selena Gomez with one of my favourite duets of the year, We Don't Talk Anymore. Pretty much the only good song of the Charlie Puth album that I heard, but I'm a big fan of Selena Gomez recently. Her music last year was great, and her inclusion on this song was an inspired choice. One of the best mainstream hits of the year, really enjoyed it, really beautiful ballad. Definitely recommend it. One of the least cringy pop songs of the year. 47, we've got another duet. This time it's between Miguel and Kacey Musgraves. Kacey Musgraves is one of my favourite country singers of today. One of pretty much everyone's favourite country singers, really. Miguel, one of the most popular, critically acclaimed singers of our day. This is a remix of Miguel's older song, Waves, and it's been remixed perfectly. The two voices combine amazingly. It's kind of got an ocean, surfy kind of feel to it. A beautiful love song, a beautiful duet. Really, really, really catchy stuff. 46, we got one of the catchiest rap songs of the year. This is ASAP Ferg feat ScHoolboy Q with Let It Bang. ScHoolboy Q always gives a great guest verse in my opinion. This one is no exception. It's one of his best yet. And ASAP Ferg is probably the best song on the album. Not the most critically acclaimed album, that as you might have seen Fantano, he reviewed it really negatively. I wouldn't be quite as negative on the album as he would. This was probably the best song on the album. It was the one that most stuck with me, and this was one of my most listened to songs of the year on my Spotify playlist that came out at the end of the year. 45, we got Brand New, one of my favourite rock songs of the year, I Am a Nightmare. Not much to say about it really, except it's just really catchy, really fun. The guitars in it are great, the drums in it are great. It's really intense, really heavy. Definitely recommend this song if you're a fan of rock music. Definitely recommend this artist in general. 44, New Order are back with their song Singularity. It's a great, catchy new wave tune. Definitely brings back the New Order sound and proves that the sound is still relevant in today's world. Definitely one of my favourite rock / new wave, whatever songs of the year. Definitely one of my favourite New Order songs as well. 43, another kind of electronic rock kind of song with Digitalism. We've got Battlecry. This is a song that when I listened to it, I just thought it would be perfect for one of the FIFA games. Later learned that Digitalism have many songs on the FIFA games already. This one not, but it definitely sounds like the sort of song that would be great for just commercials and for video games. Really catchy, really upbeat, funky electronic rock song. 42, we got Solange with Cranes in the Sky. Hard to pick a favourite song off that album. I picked this one. It's probably the most popular and successful of the songs on that album. Solange's entire album, I Sit at the Table, it was one of my favourite albums of the year, so you'll be seeing it on that list as well. This is the song that I most recommend from that album. It's beautiful, elegant ballad, one of the highlights off of her album. 41, we got Jessy Lanza with one of the most upbeat, catchy dance songs of the year, VV Violence, or VV Violence, whatever you call it. Say it to your face, but it doesn't mean a thing. This is just a great, catchy, dancey kind of song, and that's not a really good way of describing it, but it's definitely a sort of song that I think would still be catchy 20 years now. It feels futuristic and timeless and classic all at once. And it's just, Jessy Lanza's entire album was great. This was the highlight of the album for me. Fantastic work, really catchy song, definitely check it out. 40, we've got Mvula with Overcome featuring Nile Rodgers. This is kind of a big epic song that feels like the whole of human history coming together. It talks about, people gathering around a mountain, and it's got a very kind of classic, just bellowing, loud, kind of communal chanting feel to it. A fantastic, big, thumping, funky rock song. Definitely one of the most powerful songs of the year for me. 39, we got the Emotional Cry from Rae Jepsen's Emotion B-Sides. Cry, though, is one of the best songs on the Emotion B-Sides. It's a really emotionally powerful, textured pop song. It's got lots of just pure emotion in it. Of course, the album is called Emotion B-Sides, her album last year, Emotion. It's all about emotion. This one is one of the purest expressions of that emotion. It's specifically about Rae Jepsen addressing a lover of hers, well, not in third person, who is unable to cry and is not the most emotionally open person. It's just a very, very powerful, passionate song. One of the songs that I really most needed in this very, very kind of dark and just wow 2016. 38, we got Mark Pritchard featuring Thom Yorke with Beautiful People, the best song off of Mark Pritchard's album Under the Sun. This is a really kind of mellow, calming, relaxing kind of electronic song. Really, really graceful, beautiful. The music video that accompanies it is apparently really kind of, it gets the same kind of lush, soothing feeling to it. I haven't actually watched the music video in full yet, but the song in general it has such a simple but kind of infectious melody to it that's so slight and soft and profound, and it's just a beautiful, gorgeous song. 37, we've got YG with what's, in my opinion, the most catchy song on his new album, Still Brazy. Of course, the album is called Still Brazy. The song I'm picking is Still Brazy. Lots of great songs on the album will definitely feature on my favourite albums of the year list. Still Brazy for me is the catchiest. Don't really have much else to say about it. It's just a song that I can't stop listening to, really. Just incredibly catchy. Got one of the funkiest beats of the year. YG continuing to bring out very, very catchy rap music. 36, we got one of the most complicated songs of the year with Robbie Williams' Party Like a Russian. Now, when I heard this song for the first time, I'm like, this is the worst song of the year. This is absolutely cringy. This is offensive. This is horrible. This is disgusting. This is terrifying. And I still would probably stand by all of those opinions. However, the song is such a ridiculous mess, it definitely is probably very problematic in many ways. Of course, the song is making fun of kind of oligarchical Russian culture, and there are certainly many reasons that I'm sure Russians have to be offended by this song, but nonetheless, it is still one of the weirdest, most ridiculous, most insane, most energetic pop songs of the year. Robbie Williams continuing to prove that he is one of the most versatile pop artists out there, and just one of the purest entertainers out there. Of course, he collaborated with his old partner, Guy Chambers, for this new album. They got back with their collaboration, and it's definitely paid off. His new album it's a mess, it's ridiculous, it's all over the place, but it's also continually exciting and weird and energetic. And even though it's got so many flaws in it, I can't stop listening, and that is kind of what encapsulates this song in general. So Robbie Williams, Party Like a Russian, put a doll inside a doll inside a doll, eh? Yeah. 35, we've got a song from 2012, and Meredith with Nautilus. Now, I'm including this song because even though it's from 2012, because it featured on Anne Meredith's latest album, Varmints. I think it might be her debut album in general, but of course she's an artist that has been going for quite a while. This was the first year I actually heard the song, but the YouTube video of it is like 4 or 5 years old, and you can still access the same old video now. Nonetheless, this is the catchiest song of her album, Varmints, and it's definitely one of my favourite instrumental songs of the year. Probably the highest ranking instrumental on this list, if I'm remembering correctly. 34, we got Frank Ocean with Nikes. This was, I think, the release single for his album Blonde, which of course was one of the biggest albums of the year. Nikes for me was the most memorable song on the album. I think a lot of people have criticised it for different reasons. Of course, Frank Ocean's voice is edited to be really high pitched in this song, so it kind of feels like a child is singing it, and I can see why people would find that annoying. For me, though, it was a very infectious song, and it's got lots of different messages and different things going on within it. It's definitely one of the most interesting songs of the year, one of the songs that I keep wanting to revisit to kind of find out and peel back that next layer of what's going on. Definitely for me the highlight off of Frank Ocean's album, which was overall a really good album anyway. 33, we got Kero Bonito, one of my favourite artists today, with their song Lipslap off of their new album Bonito Generation. The catchiest song for me on their album, but all the songs in that album are really, really catchy and fun. And 33 is kind of a conservative position for this song, but their album will feature very, very high on my albums of the year list. Nonetheless, Lipslap, for me the catchiest song on the album, but really, I'm not just recommending this song, I'm recommending the album in general, but Lipslap for me was the catchiest beat, and it had the best music video. So definitely check out Lipslap, but check out Bonito Generation in general. Kero Bonito, one of the most exciting, fun acts of today. 32, we got Dumbfoundead with the ultimate meme song of the year, Harambe. Not much to say about this, except even though it's obviously a really funny song, it's a great, fantastic kind of freestyle meme track. It's also just one of the catchiest rap songs of the year for me, and it definitely encapsulates kind of the lighter, but also the darker side of 2016 all in one. It's kind of an interesting, complete package. I'm still listening to it to this day, over and over again on repeat. It's just a really, really, really fun song. 31, we've got Red Velvet. This is the first inclusion of K-pop on my list, but it won't be the last, with their song Russian Roulette. This is one of the catchiest K-pop songs of the year. It probably holds the record for the song that I listen to the most consecutive times in the year. In one sitting, I listened to it about 20 times over and over again on Spotify. Just an incredibly catchy K-pop song, incredibly catchy pop song in general. Got a fantastic music video, one of the best music videos of the year. What do you expect from great K-pop? Pretty much all my favourite music videos of the year were K-pop music videos. This is one of the catchiest K-pop songs of the year, one of the catchiest pop songs of the year in general. Just really infectious, fun, creative, inventive beat and melody to it that just couldn't get out of my head. 30, K-Slang Veers with Atomic Number. This is just one of the most graceful, gorgeous, beautiful ballads of the year. Of course, with beautiful vocal harmonies from K-Slang and Veers. I love vocal harmonies. It's my favourite kind of thing in music, I would say. I love hearing different voices clash together or just kind of build together, and this is the ultimate example of that. Just a beautiful, graceful ballad. Definitely one of my favourites of the year. 29, Chairlift was one of the catchiest dance songs of the year, Moth to the Flame. Can't really say much about it, except that I was singing I could have put up a moth to a flame the whole year. Just absolutely bright, infectious, dancey tune. Just can't stop dancing to it. Can't stop thinking about it in my head. It's just such a beautiful production as well. Moth is one of the best albums of the year as well. Chairlift bringing a fantastic collection of dance songs. This, of course, being the kind of the title track and the highlight of that album. Definitely one of the catchiest songs of the year. 28, of course, it's an obligatory inclusion on every list of the best songs of 2016. Angel Olsen with Shut Up Kiss Me. I mean, 28 is probably a pretty low spot for me. This is a song that has continued to be interesting throughout the year. Just a really aggressive, upfront, straightforward love song. Great rock song, great whatever you want to call it song. Angel Olsen releasing one of the best albums of the year, of course, with My Woman. This was the highlight song on that album. This was just one of the songs that, from the title alone, you knew it was something special, and it continued to be something special with repeat listens. 27 with Bruno Mars, one of the head-shakingly awesome songs of the year with 24 Karat Magic. This is a song that I just have to go, it's just so catchy, so creative, so lively, so inventive. Such a hot, gilded mess. It's kind of like the Gods of Egypt of 2016, a complete mess that I absolutely loved. It's kind of similar to, I guess, Party Like a Russian in that respect. You know, it's a song that I have to shake my head to, but at the same time, I just can't stop listening to 24 Karat Magic. Such a catchy, funky song with one of the most ridiculous music videos of the year. Absolutely love it, even if that love is at the price of. 26, one of my favourite pop songs of the year. We've got the Chainsmokers with Closer. This is a song that surely many people cringe at, many people are really, really tired of after it being overplayed. But in my opinion, the Chainsmokers are, when they're kind of reduced to really intense, impressive moments, they can be magical. And this is proof of that. I mean, I was a really big fan of #Selfie. That was a very modern, fun pop song. But this is just, I think, an explosion of everything that they can be great at. And it's kind of just it's an expression of a fake world, of a world that is kind of idealistic and doesn't really exist, and is only something that we really want to exist. But it's the perfect piece of pop nostalgia. Stuff like the Blink-182 reference will make other people cringe, but for me, it's something that I'm a big fan of Blink-182, so that really brought back kind of nostalgic memories, even if it is kind of a fake nostalgia. It kind of has the same effect as 5 Seconds of Summer's She Looks So Perfect in that regard. It's a song that's just such pure, energetic, magical nostalgia, even if it's not really edgy or gritty or representative of the real world. It's just really engrossing, gripping, a kind of dreamlike pop song for me, and I just absolutely love it. Really big fan of Halsey's guest vocals on this as well. Great song all around, one of my favourite pop songs of the year. Number 25, we got The Avalanches, one of the just weirdest songs of the year, Frankie Sinatra. It's a song that I absolutely hated at the beginning, but I just couldn't stop listening to it. Just one of the catchiest, craziest, most out there rap songs of the year, pop songs of the year, whatever you want to call it. This is just plunder phonics, if that's the term for it, at its most extreme and wild, and it's just absolute fun. 24, Dram and Lil Yachty was one of the best rap songs of the year, Broccoli. Pretty much on everybody's list of the best songs of the year, just incredibly catchy. I love the kind of, whatever you call it, the recorder kind of melody in the background during the later parts of the song. Just really fun rap song. The music video is kind of like, has that 24 karat magic effect. It's a head shaker, but at the same time the song is just so fun. Couldn't get it out of my head, couldn't stop listening to it. Got so much layer and texture to the production. Great work from Drown, great work from Lil Yachty. One of the best rap songs of the year. 23, we got Danny Brown with the best song, in my opinion, off of his album, Atrocity Exhibition. Ain't It Funny? I love pretty much every song on this album. This album is definitely going to be in my top 10 of the year. It's one of the best albums of the year. Danny Brown continues to be one of the best and most creative rappers in the game. Ain't It Funny for me was the catchiest song on the album. It was the most intense and immediately impressive and catchiest songs on his entire album, but the whole thing is great. I'm picking that one. The whole album is really worth listening to though. 22, we got another one of the best rappers in the game, Chance the Rapper with No Problem, of course featuring Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz. This is just a song that when I first heard it, I'm like, yeah, this is something special. It's just so loud, so bright, so sunny. Such a great summer rap anthem. Absolutely love it. Can't stop listening to it. It is absolutely amazing. 21 with Anony with Drone Bomb Me, one of the essential songs of 2016, one of the most powerful, emotional, lyrically deep ballads of the year. Anony really impressing with that album, Hopelessness. This is just a fantastic song and definitely a highlight, not just of the album, but of the year in general. This is a song that we're going to look back on 20 years from now and just think of how so 2016 the song is, but also of how timeless it is as well. Just a powerful expression of human emotion. Definitely one of the best songs of the year. 20, we got another obligatory 2016 song, Radiohead with Burn the Witch. Pretty much the only song that I really loved off of their album, A Moon-Shaped Pool. Not one of my favourite albums of the year, but this song in particular is just a really... one of the songs that, once again, when I heard it, I knew it was something special. The strings are just so crazy, and there's no other song that's ever sounded like this before. And it's the only song of its kind on their album. It sounds completely different from every other Radiohead song, yet at the same time, it obviously does sound like a Radiohead song because it is a Radiohead song. But this is just a fantastic, terrifying expression of kind of the hypernormalization we live in 2016, of the culture of fear and suspicion, the culture of lies, of all the politics. Just a powerful, anxious kind of encapsulation of all those emotions going through our heads on a political level in that kind of our social media driven culture of 2016. 19, we got Tegan and Sarah with U-Turn. This is my favourite song off of their album. Really hard to pick a favourite. I also love Boyfriend. I also loved Stop Desire, but their entire album, Love Me to Death, I think it's called Love Me to Death or Love You to Death, was one of my favourite pop albums of the year. This is my favourite song. It's just a song that's incredibly catchy. Not really much deep things I can say about it, but just one of the catchiest pop songs of the year. Couldn't get it out of my head. Will continue listening to it for years to come. 18, Rae Jepsen is back with First Time. Probably my favourite song off of her album, Emotion, B-sides, whatever it is, an album, an EP, mixtape, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it an album. First Time, my favourite song on the album. I just love the bouncy guitars, love the funkiness of the song. Just a perfect, romantic, bubbly pop song, and it's the best. It's what really Rae Jepsen is best at. She's one of the best pop artists out there right now, and probably, in my opinion, the best singer of pop songs out there right now, and this is just the highlight of that album in particular. 17, we got Shura, who is one of the best artists that I discovered for the first time in 2016. She's been going for a little while longer, but this was the first time I've experienced her music with her amazing single, Nothing's Real. This epic, poppy, electronic ballad dance song, whatever it's going to be called. New wave is probably a good term for it, but Nothing's Real, a fantastic song, once again about kind of like hypernormalization, which is something you'll be seeing on my films list as well. Just a song about things not really being real or not seeming real in the way we live our modern lives, and it's also just a really catchy dance song as well. So really great work from Shura. Her entire album was very entertaining, but this for me was the highlight of it. 16, we got one of my favourite country acts right now, Brandy Clark with Soap Opera. It's a song really about the whole kind of like the small town living life kind of as a soap opera, and it makes lots of references to different soap operas, none of which I've actually seen. It's kind of hard to miss the references, they're very open and blatant. It's probably the highlight of Brandy Clark's masterpiece of an album. big day in a small town. It kind of encapsulates everything that makes the album great. It's a bit of a narrative album that's just the perfect small town country album. It's a perfect example of an artist expressing kind of their reality or a certain individual reality and making it seem universal, and Soap Opera really is a powerful song that does that. 15, K-pop is back, but not for the last time with Luna. We got Free Somebody. This is a song that I don't really have much like positive criticism to say about it. It's just, besides the really amazing piano tune to it, it's just a pretty generic modern pop song, but it's kind of one of those songs where even though I can't really say that it's a masterpiece, it's so infectious, so catchy, it's stuck in my head so much that I can't help but put it on this list because it's just a song that has made me happy so much in 2016. So we got Luna, was one of the best pop songs of the year, Free Somebody. 14, we got another great country song by Maren Morris. We got My Church, one of the most popular and critically popular country songs of the year, and this is just a really fun, catchy song about Maren Morris's church kind of being country music. She references Johnny Cash, she references, I believe, Hank Williams, and just makes a really great, catchy song about loving country music, and also adds in obviously gospel elements and religious elements to it as well. I'm not a religious person, but this song was infectious enough that it kind of made me feel it in that moment. I felt kind of a spiritual connection to country music in that moment, and My Church is just really, really fun song. 13, we got Common featuring Stevie Wonder with one of the most vital ballads of the year, well, rap ballads of the year, with Black America Again. It's the title song of his album, Black America Again, of course. Just one of the most important, vital feeling songs of 2016. Just has so much energy, it's got so much texture, and it's just a song that feels really important, really special. The lyric content of the song is not really a topic that I have much place talking about, but it's just a song that I urge everyone to listen to. Definitely urge everyone to listen to Common's album as well. Of course, it was one of the most critically acclaimed albums of the year. This is probably my favourite work of Common's that I've ever experienced before. I wasn't really a fan of him before this, but this just had such an important feeling, and I think what Common does best is empowerment, and this was his most empowering song yet. 12, we've got Beyonce with also one of the most critically acclaimed songs of the year. I've seen Formation named #1 song on countless numbers of lists, and it definitely is one of the most memorable, creative, exciting songs of the year. Doesn't quite make the top of my list, maybe that's just from my own personal taste or biases or whatever, but definitely one of the most essential songs of 2016. I think I said in my written article of this list that if we were to delete every single other song that had came out in 2016, we could only keep one. I think it would have to be Formation, because it's just such an important, creative, exciting, passionate expression of so many different things, and it's just possibly Beyonce's best work today. 11, we got Maxwell with one of the catchiest romantic ballads of the year with Lake by the Ocean. Not really a song that I have much to say about critically, but it's a song that I couldn't stop listening to this year. And it's one of the songs that the last couple of days particularly, obviously all the songs on this list I've listened to recently, but of all of the ones on this list, possibly I think that Lake by the Ocean is the one that has most stuck with me while I've actually been making this list and refining it for the video. So that's definitely a song that I recommend. Could see it going higher on this list in the future. Just a really, really catchy, powerful, passionate ballad. Right, we finally move into the top 10. I'm having the same exact song in my 10th space as Anthony Fantano, but this was not planned. I wrote this list and wrote my article before I watched Fantano's Best Songs of the Year list. Turns out that he picked a lot of the good songs that I agree with as well, but that's totally fine. I'm happy to agree with him on certain things. But my number 10 spot is Car City Headrest with Drunk Drivers, Killer Whales. This epic, I think it's like 5 or 6 minute song that's in different sections about kind of comparing the act of being a kind of a teenage youth speaking out against parents and society and drunk driving and dealing with disillusionment, comparing that with a kind of killer whales being trapped in SeaWorld or wherever they would be, kind of being watched by people and feeling kind of trapped inside this cage. And it's just such a lyrically impressive metaphor, but also such a great catchy rock song as well, so definitely one of my favourite songs of the year. 9, we got Gallant with one of the most majestic songs of the year with Bourbon. I think just the main reason this is so high on my list is that Champagne Quicksand is probably my favourite combination of 2 words that I've heard all year. But the entire song is really powerful, passionate, great vocals from Gallant. It was my first time ever hearing Gallant, or Gallant, this time with this song, but I'll definitely be listening to more of his music in the future. Just a really, really, really memorable individual single of the year. Definitely one that I've been singing to myself throughout the year ever since I heard it for the first time many months ago. Number 8, K-pop comes back again. We've got EXO with Lucky One. Originally I was going to put EXO's Monster on this list, but I enjoyed their entire album Exact, but Lucky One and Monster were the two really big singles, I think. But for me, Lucky One, I ended up picking it over Monster and putting it so high on the list because I think that the production is just so massive, so powerful. This song seems like just a kind of expression of EXO's greatness. It's kind of this braggadocious, big feeling song. It's a song that feels like it's on a higher level, like all other pop music is completely irrelevant, and EXO is the universe. This is the big. It's just such a grandiose, awesome pop song. Number 7, one of the best country folk songs of the year. We got Margot Price with Hands of Time, an epic 6-minute ballad that goes through Margot Price's own life. Kind of feels like it kind of feels like we're experiencing Margot's entire life with her as she goes through this song. They're definitely the highlight of her album, Midwest Farmer's Daughter, one of my favourite albums of the year in general. And this song is just, it's just such a masterpiece in so many ways. The music is great, but I think it's mainly just about that lyrical content. It runs through so many different emotions: happiness, sadness, tragedy, all these different things going through Margot Price's life. And it just feels momentous when you're listening to it. And it's a song that I've listened to many times of the year and enjoyed so much each time. Number 6, we got Taemin, another K-pop artist, one of the purest pieces of pop imagism of the year. Taemin, of course, is a former member of SHINee, which is one of my favourite K-pop acts of all time. Their song Sherlock is probably my favourite K-pop song of all time. Of course, this year was the first real exposure I had to K-pop besides like Gangnam Style. So I started listening to artists because of one of my friend's recommendations very deeply. But Taemin's Drip Drop was one of my favourite songs of the year. I just love the way that the song, it feels like the title of the song, and the way it sounds. Everything is it's got such tension, such suspense, and that the whole drip drop kind of aesthetic of the song is just really powerful. And it's kind of one of those unique signature feeling songs that it completely feels like it's on a higher level from everything else. Doesn't feel like it's in the same kind of world as all the other songs listening to. A similar effect that I kind of tried to explain with Lucky One as well. Number 5, we've got the third and final inclusion of Rae Jepsen on this list. This is probably a really controversial inclusion, but this is one of my favourite cover songs, unironically, of all time. We've got Rae Jepsen's cover of the Full House theme for Fuller House. I'm not even a fan of Full House. I didn't even watch Fuller House, but the Full House theme in general has always been one of my favourite theme songs. Even if I didn't watch the show, I always enjoyed hearing the song. It's just got this, it's got this powerful, upbeat, bouncy, such a sugary, overwhelmingly optimistic view. Certainly it's a utopian fake view, but it's such, kind of like how I explained with Closer, it's got that feeling of just otherworldly kind of optimism that is hard to explain with anything else. And Rae Jepsen, she is the best pop singer, as I already mentioned, of our generation, and with this cover she really brings her all. It brings her A game, brings all of her, what makes her music great, and adds it to what is already one of the best theme songs of all time. Makes that theme song, in my opinion, into something timeless. And it was on Spotify my most listened to song of the year. Probably listened to it 200 or 300 times. It's just absolutely incredible, absolutely fun, really bright, really lively. Couldn't get enough of it in 2016. Number 4, we've got one of the best political songs of the year, Muncie Girls with Respect. It's a really fun, catchy, upbeat feminist anthem about kind of standing up to patriarchal bullshit, basically is how I explained it in my description on the blog. But it's a song that I actually use a direct reference for some of the other work I did, creative work I did this year. And it's just one of my favourite rock songs of the year. I really enjoyed Muncie Girls' album. Just a really straightforward, to the point, enjoyable rock song that I had on repeat throughout the entire year. Third place, we're getting to the really good stuff now. We have Sturgill Simpson with my favourite country song of the year, Sea Stories, the highlight off of his awesome album, A Sailor's Guide to Earth, an album that will definitely be on my albums list. This was, however, the biggest moment for me. It was a song that when I first listened to it, I was like, yeah, this is definitely going to be one of my favourite songs, possibly not of the year, but of all time. It just has my sound. Like, one of my favourite songs of all time is Gordon Lightfoot's The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and I just love anything to do with the sea, the ocean. I'm really obsessed with pirates. Anything to do with seafaring is kind of my aesthetic. I guess it comes from the fact that, you know, I have ancestry from coastal towns in both England and Ireland, and I lived in Ireland for a while. I lived by the sea. The sea is just something that I personally connect to, and A Sailor's Guide's Worth, Sea Stories, the highlight song on that album, is just the ultimate pirate anthem, kind of, with all this different texture. And it's just kind of the ultimate sea shanty with Sturgill Simpson's modern country perspective on it. He references, you know, stuff like N64. It's got drug references. It's got talk about all of his time in the Navy. Sturgill Simpson is just one of the most interesting country artists out there today for me. And Sea Stories is just the ultimate perfect song from him. I absolutely love this. There is no music video for it, but I really enjoy watching all the live performances of this song. This song is just, it's got so much liveliness and texture, so much with all the different things going on in it. It's just so fast and so epic. It's constantly evolving and changing. Just a song that I absolutely adore and will continue probably listening to for a very, very long time, possibly the rest of my life. In second place, now we're getting to the top 2 songs of the year. Second place, I have to give to The Weeknd featuring Daft Punk with Starboy. I did not like The Weeknd Starboy album. I felt that the album as a whole was full of boring filler, nothing too much interesting on it. But the title track, Starboy, is one of the best songs of the year, definitively. This is the best thing The Weeknd has done. It's a fantastic song about The Weeknd just taking ownership of his fame and talking about how kind of his fans and everyone has created him into this kind of monstrous star boy. The song is dark, it's scary, it's epic, it has that big feeling. Daft Punk's production on it is absolutely immense. I love how the song is kind of relentless. As soon as the chorus ends, it immediately jumps right into the next verse. There's no mess, no BS, it's just a perfect, pure pop R&B tune, funky to dance to, absolutely amazing. It's just a razor sharp dance track to listen to on repeat. Definitely one of the best songs of the year. And now we've finally gotten to my number 1 song of 2016. And now with number 1 songs, it's always a kind of, it's kind of one of those things where the number 1 spot is always the easiest one to pick, because there's usually for me a song that has been such a big part of my life, such a big influence, such that I've had on such repeat, such a song that I've that has made me feel such intense emotion that it was inevitable that it was going to be in my number 1 spot. And for this year, that was bigger than ever. This was the year that I discovered K-pop. It's the year that I think I found some of my favourite modern pop artists, and combining those two together, my favourite song of the year is G-Friend, with the beautiful, the immensely optimistic, the immensely fun, the immensely energetic Rough. This is the first G-Friend song I ever listened to, and listening back to other G-Friend songs, their sound is one that's very similar throughout many of their big hits. They are a band that has kind of a general sound, and Rough seems to be kind of like the accentuation, the ultimate version of that sound. It's a simple pop love song, a song about going into the rough with the person you love. But it's a song that made me felt such intense, deep warmth in my heart every time I listen to it. And I listen to it and watch the music video probably I'll probably listen to it hundreds of times in the year and watch the music video dozens and dozens of times. It's a song that whenever I listen to it, no matter what mood I'm in, it always gives me kind of that uplifted feel. When I'm happy, I can listen to it and become even happier, and when I'm sad, I can listen to it and become, unsad, just from the power of that immense 2 minutes. It's, as I mentioned before, I love vocal harmonies. This has G-Friend, one of the best K-pop girl groups going right now, coming together in perfect vocal harmony. All their voices going together, in each of them distinct and each of them beautiful in their own different way, combining together to create this perfect sugar rush of a pop song. And it ends in the most awesome and fun guitar solo of the year. I really love guitar solos in pop songs. They've had some great ones this year, of course, included in Rae Jepsen's Everywhere You Look song, the Full House cover that I included at number 5 on my list. And this was, for me, not only the best pop song, the best guitar song, the best K-pop song, it was just the ultimate musical experience of my 2016, a song that I absolutely enjoyed every time I listened to. And I don't know if it's a song that critics in general love. It has been reviewed well by K-pop critics, of course, but it's not the sort of song that comes in and absolutely groundbreakingly changes music. It's not like one of your Formations, per se, where the song comes in and just a huge, massive statement. It's just a song that is so perfect and so immensely passionately made and so precisely put together and so fun and vibrant and joyous that regardless of its quality or not, it just leaves such a huge personal, emotional impact for me that I can't resist its charm. So G-Friends Rough is my #1 song of the year. I hope you check it out. I hope you check out the music video. That is just an absolutely awesome song. Well, that's been my top 50 for the year. If you want to check out each of the songs, I've linked their music videos, or for the case of songs that don't have music videos, links to the songs in general in the description. Also, you can check in the description the link to my blog post, which has a written description of why I liked each of these songs, and some different notes about songs that I didn't include, honourable mentions, all that good stuff. Obviously, I couldn't listen to every song in the year. There's certainly lots of stuff that I missed. So let me know in the comments what your favourite songs of the year were. What were the best picks that I had? What were the cringiest picks that I had? What was your year in 2016 in music like? Did you change your taste? Did you find new artists that you loved? Did some of your favourite artists continue to release some great music? And how was your year in 2016 in music? Stay tuned to Gambas TV for more year in review content. I'm going to try and upload on the same day as this, or at least within one day, the list of my favourite films of the year. And then next week, really in 2017 technically, I'm going to be doing my albums list, but I don't feel like I've listened to all the albums of the year enough to get kind of a comfortable opinion on that question. So sometime next week, hopefully expect my albums of the year list. This has been Gambas TV. Thanks for watching and have a great everything. Goodbye.